Hi everyone. Sorry, I was looking at my game. I was trying to see where I left off, and I was squinting because I forgot to put my glasses on. So I've had some people, like I'm sure some people saw the comment that I had to delete because it was rude and toxic and everything. And people who follow my channel know for a long time, I over-explain everything. I'm kind of. It's hard when I get stuck in my head. I get stuck in my head, and it's super hard for me to kind of get out of it. So I like to talk about things and for people who actually care and who have a heart, they listen. Um, so the full truth about the story, what I said in my first video, not what I did earlier today, but the one before that, was the truth, and what I'm gonna say is still the truth. So because some people are being really mean and still attacking me, so I'm gonna say the whole video in one shot of the full story. So as people have known, I was with this guy, you know, the Jamie guy, and I was with him for 2 months. We still our anniversary was May 21st. That's when we technically started dating, and how we met on Facebook dating. He came and his friend drove him because he doesn't have a car, and they live 3 hours. Like they had to drive 3 hours each way technically. So they came out, picked me up. We hung around. We drove around the town. We drove to this little town near us, like 5-10 minutes away, and it's got a nice wharf by the ocean and everything, and they loved it. And I started dating him technically before that day, and it was good, right? He said he really enjoyed the time, and he said he wanted to continue further. So I'm like, absolutely. So they brought me home, and it was great and everything. And that it's funny because when we first met, this is why it's so weird that he decided that he doesn't want me part of his life anymore. And I actually hope he sees this so he can understand what I'm going through. Because I can't just close my eyes and forget. Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard my uncle. When my uncle comes, I don't like to talk about stuff. I heard the door slam downstairs. Okay. Um, but yeah, he asked me what I liked. I'm like, well, I like banana candies. Banana milk. Just I like banana. Like if you have a place that has banana milkshakes, I'm going to go and get a banana milkshake because I really like the flavor of banana. Not a lot of places have that type of ice cream and stuff too. So when I find a place, which turns out down the road there was one, it was awesome. When we first met, he got me all these gifts. Like it even came in a Paw Patrol bag, and I sadly had to burn that bag because I had to doing stuff. But like everything he's given me, including this, whether he sees this video or not, despite the title, I sleep with it every night. You know, it's one of those things where like I could hate him, I could do whatever, but end of the day, you spent a lot of time with someone that you cared about, and even though how it ended sucked, I'm still gonna remember the good times. You know, I can always redo that with someone else, but you know, I just kind of want to explain a story about him. But like I said, it was super nice. Got me all those banana candy and stuff, and I got him this fox plushie because I went to a place called King's Landing, which is kind of like a what do you call it? Um, Amish, like an Amish community. It's pretty cool. Because I got the fox stuffy, and then I got this one right here. I got a husky, which is weird because they don't have any of that type of stuff there. It's an Amish community, and yeah, and then I ended up going to his house for I think what a week. Like it probably was only a week or so after that. I went to his house for about a week. Met his mom, super nice, really good at barbecuing. Hung out with cats, everything. Like it was awesome. And what did we do? We hung out with his friends and everything like that. Um, We just hung out, slept next to each other. We played games together. Like we did our. No, we didn't do Pirates of the Caribbean. What did we do? Actually, after that, they showed me that I could do with the PlayStation. If you have another account, which they all got rid of me, but if you add their account and they add your account, I can download games from their library and then play it on my own. Not have to buy the game, which is super nice. We all gave each other the accounts after that. So if I had games they liked, they could play. Same with vice versa, right? Which actually I appreciated because I got to try some really cool games I didn't think I was gonna like. Turns out I like a game called Dishonor. Pretty cool game. Some other games, but and then I was home for probably about 2, 3 weeks back here, and it was lonely. But here's the thing: I still got to text him, call him almost every night. It was nice. And then he's like, "Well, I want you to come for the first, what we call Canada Day, right?" And so I was just like, "Okay, well, I can come probably 4 days before. Like, obviously they had to come and grab me, and most of the days he was off that time, but then I could just stay home, which I did. I helped build these really cool steps up into the garden. I do not regret it. I hope they maintain them. That was actually kind of fun to do with a hammer. I did it with a hammer and this weird tool that has like three pitch, like a three prong on one end and a flat spade on it. It's a really cool tool. Haven't even seen that here in our garden section. So I bought a bunch of tools for them and everything because they needed them and I wanted to do them. But at the end of the day, like I started getting in my head because um, as everyone knows, I was a furry. I don't think I am anymore. I think I gave that up because I just stopped caring about being one. And uh, one of his friends, like her husband, because there's four. I'm not gonna name their names because I'm respectful, but there's four of them. Each couple is married. One's kind of a religious couple. They're super nice. Those are the ones that drove and got us. And then when we drove on the way back, they had a car accident, or we all did because the deer jumped out in front of us. I helped convince them to get a Honda Civic because it's reliable and they liked it. And then the other couple, the husband was kind of like a twin. He was older than me, but we went through a lot of similarities growing up. I actually had pretty good similar taste in cars. So he liked an S10 and I liked the C10 because the C10 was my first truck I grew up with. Um, and then she likes to do like these kind of weird role play thingies or whatever on like AI, which a lot of people do, because when you're an adult and stuff happens, whatever. But she's kind of being flirtatious, and I was being back. But of course, I showed my partner everything, every message that anyone would send me, he would see. Did I care? No, I wanted him to see. I was being truthful, and I even asked his permission firsthand. And she's even admitted to him that she was lying when I kept asking him or asking like her like, is this okay? Do you want to keep doing this role play? Do you want to keep acting like this? Like we don't have to. We stop if we want. And she apparently, according to her, because she told him that it's so I didn't get upset. I'm like, well, I'd rather have been told that to ended it rather than make anything worse down the road. I would have reacted just fine. I would have been a little sad, like, oh, okay, but I would have been okay. She says a little bit push. I was a bit pushy. Maybe I was. It didn't seem like it from my aspect, but then again, that's from my eyes. But like I said, she could have just told me to stop. I don't take the hints very well, and if you're just gonna kind of lie and sweep it under the rug, yeah, I'm not gonna understand at all. It's gonna be really confusing for my brain. But she ended up telling her husband, and then they decided to just not want to be friends with me anymore because of that decision. And that's the part that sucked. That's what got me in my head. Now I've been in my head for a bit because I've been going to the hospital because there's something wrong underneath the jaw on each side because I keep thinking it was teeth. Because I originally had a tooth got pulled, just the one right back here because it had an infection that was trapped from a dentist where I came from. So I had to get it pulled because I was hospitalized. I had to get an ambulance come get me because I blacked out in the sink from pain, and I've never blacked out from pain. I've survived a lot of pain, my concussion, and everything, but that knocked me out literally. So I went to the hospital there because I figured, well, where I live is a small town. You got one little hospital, one dent, simple. I was in the city and I figured, well, city, there's multiple hospitals, there's multiple clinics. If I need a prescription for painkillers, there's many places to go. I have more opportunity to get stuff done. Plus, it's the city, it's where all the specialists are. Like, if I need to go see a specialist, I still gotta drive to the city. So Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I'll take the time because I was supposed to come home after a couple weeks because he wanted me there longer. It ended up being a month. No regrets on that. And then he sat there 9 hours with me in the hospital while I was waiting for all this stuff. Like I was pretty much ready to fall asleep in that chair, but the chairs were really uncomfortable against the butt. But I was ready to fall asleep. He was there, and he would get me food when I sat in the waiting room and all that because I didn't want to move. So he was a phenomenal dude for that aspect. And then, like I said, but after what happened with his friends, I was getting in my head. I was worried about what could be wrong because if it's TMJ, which is a term, they have to break my jaw to get to it, and I feel really uncomfortable with that, and I don't know if it's covered under the dental plan thing or whatever I'm under. I don't think it is, but I don't even know if it's referred. I think it's still covered, but it's a process, and it's still I just don't like the idea of having my jaw being broken just because I want to. But you know, I was in my head about that, which I didn't really tell him completely. I was in my head about his friends going, and all I simply asked him was if he could stick up for me and talk to friends. He's like, "Well, I don't want to burn bridges and stuff." I'm like, I'm not asking you to. I'm asking just to tell them how I feel because I can't. Right? I was like feeling really sad and depressed because like, hey, I only had these four friends besides him, and they meant a lot to me. Like I had really fun hanging out with them, still even today. But we kind of ended up having a fight. I cried on the bed and we tried to work it out. Even at night, I bought us ice cream and I said, I'm really sorry. And I said, I'll be all right. And he said, okay, well, it hurt my feelings, but, we'll still try. In the morning, he kissed me when he left for work because he goes for work. And then I woke up a couple hours later, probably around 11 p.m. or so. I woke up, texted him, good morning, I love you. And then he said, uh, he didn't say I love you back, and I immediately knew something was wrong. I'm like, do you not? He's I was like, I don't really think we're gonna work out, and we'll help you. I'll help you find a ride home. And I'm like, oh. And I right there, everything drops. Like, cause so, that day too, I woke up and I was fine before I texted him, and that whole situation with his friends. I'm like, you know what? I'll be okay. I can still look for other friends and stuff like that as long as I have him. But then he did that, and that kind of just broke everything in me. So I basically said he raped me. He didn't, but it felt like it. You say you love someone, you sleep next to each other after being together for 2 months and uh, together for a month in the same bed. You know, just for you to do, or snap a finger to do that, like I didn't matter. And then like I broke because it's just like he said this, and then all of a sudden used me during the night, and then bam, like, so he didn't do it, and I regret saying that word to him, but it's just a matter of like that's what it felt like. I felt like I didn't actually matter at that moment. And then I took it the wrong way completely because when you have your partner that you truly love a lot, because my parents fought for 18 years straight, really bad, like way worse than I ever did with him, and they actually loved each other quite a bit until the very ending. That was a whole different story I'm not going to get into, but he promised me so many times that it'd be all right. And if there's any time I try to leave, he'd stop me. So I don't get why he did that if this was just gonna happen like that. And he took me to the zoo and to the water park, which was really fun. But shoes, I really need shoes for that because that tore my feet up. That was pretty bad. They're good now, but the ground hurt. But we shared all these moments together. Between I'm a very social anxiety type of person. Like I hate going into big groups of people unless I'm with people I know. But I would walk to with him to his work, which is in a mall 15 minutes away from his house, which was fine. And then I'd walk back through traffic, through the lights and everything, which I've almost got hit a few times, pretty close actually. And then when I have to go get him, I go into the mall normally. So I have to go through all these people just do his work, wait for him half the time, and it was all right. I braved that for him so many times. Which, if there was a meter, it'd be through, you know, through the red. Like it was bad. Like I wanted to scream, but obviously don't do that in the mall. And all that happened, and then like his just for him to get his friend, the one on the other side, to just start attacking me, like because he'd give him his phone because all I asked was if I could talk to him. Right? I wanted to talk to the person that I was with. After spending 2 months, I felt like I deserved at least a chance to talk. He wouldn't give me that, so I left these voice clips that were like apologetic and everything, and I start crying near the end of it. And that guy was just mean. Even now, he still comments. It's like everyone doesn't seem to understand I get I made a mistake, but we spent 2 months and it seems like that didn't even matter. Everyone says, "Oh, well, you guys are okay." Like, if you guys if you guys broke up from being like married the same way that we did, you guys would be hurt as I was, right? It's easy to stand from the sidelines and say it'll be okay when you're still perfectly fine with your mate, right? Like, I was never mean to his friends. If there's any misunderstanding, I would say it and all that stuff like that, either shyly or try to say it, and it'd be resolved. And then they all hate me. It's like I never did anything against you guys. I was kind, and if I made a mistake that I didn't know about, I would apologize. So it's just I don't know. And then like I said, that drive because I had to get my aunt to come get me. You know, everyone hated me, but no one ever asked how I was doing. Like, here I am trying not to want to just jump out in front of traffic. I sat at a park for 2.5 hours. He didn't want to come see me and waited for my aunt. All these people were around me. Like, so many thoughts went through my head that I just wanted to go to the highway and jump in front of a truck. I was done. My life felt like it ended. And then my aunt picked me up. Her friend was with her in the front seat. There's two cousins were in the back seat, so I was in the middle. And while everything's going on, I am just trying to smile. I was trying to text and everything, and the whole 3 hour drive, I was trying not to lose my damn mind, break down crying. As soon as I got inside my house, up to my room, I cried for hours straight. It was a really long night. Literally left the house in the middle of the night, like when it's pitch black, and walked down the back trail. Which, by the way, the black trail there's no trail, there's no lights, and there's a lot of bears out. I didn't care what was gonna happen to me. I ended up waking up in the hospital, unfortunately. Um, I ended up taking things I wasn't supposed to, but I his friend's never gonna care. They just laugh at me or whatever, and he's never gonna care. So I doubt they'll ever see this video or watch it properly. But even now, like I wouldn't take him back as a mate because that part of my heart that loved him, I still will always love and care about him, but not in the way that I want to be with him anymore because that part is gone. If he didn't have his friends keep attacking and actually try to talk to me, that's all I wanted, I would have been fine. But he didn't give me that choice. And he went to their house and everything, and it's like I didn't want him to really end his friendship. I wanted just to feel like I was important or for him to talk to me. And I like I said, I was resolved the next day. I was fine. But I didn't get enough time to really show him that because he didn't give me that chance. He said he was going to and then took it back and it hurt. But, you know, he's never going to care. He's probably already found someone else or will find someone else, and I'm okay with that. I got no point in caring anymore for him. He can't see the positives. He always told me don't ever focus on the negative, and yet that's all he's doing. Here I am, like even though the title is the way it is, if you actually watch the video, you know I'm not being mean to him at all. I'm saying all the nice things that happened. A lot of awesome moments happened. And I'm sad that they're gone now. That they're just memories. I go to bed or whatever and I'll still see that back garden, the apartment room, everything. And it sucks. So I'm still recovering because everything ended on Wednesday morning. And I'm still doing my best to keep it going. Um, But all I gotta say is him and his friends are allowed to message me anytime, like if they were to add me, because I didn't block them. I'm just tired of them spitting out stuff like that. But I'd still be his friend, and the only reason I would ever date him again is if I had known in my life that wanted to be with me, and if he actually apologized. But he won't. Neither will his friends, so I know they'll never come back. But I had a whole shopping list and everything for each of them for Christmas. Nothing too expensive, but like stuff that would have been, for 5 people, 6 people, because his mom was included. I had all these things ready to get them. I had no problem with it, no problem helping with money and stuff like that. One time he was feeling sick because he wore a sweater while it was hot out, drank a hot coffee, and then he looked like he was deadly ill. So that being said, I gave him I think $100 or something. He spent the rest of it, and I helped hook up an AC. Like I helped him get an AC, hooked it up, so that he could not be deadly sick from heat anymore, right? So his room nice and cold because it would moisture bomb. The floors would be soaking wet. So I made sure to fix that. But after all that, being there with him after the incident, all that, and just for him to say, "Oh, there was more bad than good, and we don't have much in common." We may have dressed differently because where like how I'm raised and everything, where I'm from, my family's really old school. Like I can only tell certain people that I even had a boyfriend, and yet, because they all think I just like girls, and I do like girls. Don't get me wrong, I like both, but I can't tell certain people in my family that. You don't understand, and like I have my normal life. Like I like the stuff that I like getting. Like I'm wearing a femboy shirt. I don't like to wear this around the farm. One, it'll probably get wrecked. Like it was like a $30 shirt. And two, it's just like I said, it's not. It's hard to be comfortable when there's so many things against you where I live. If I had my own house, all that type of stuff, whatever. I don't care. I walk around the backyard with it or do whatever. But just situation. But no, he always focused on the bad. Now it seems, and like if I messaged him on a different like phone number, like a fake one, he'd block me instantly. He wouldn't even read the message. And if he ever sees this, know that I care, but I may have hurt him, and I kept apologizing. But the fact that he can just go talk shit about me and have his friends attack me because he doesn't want to talk to him, that hurts even more. Because it felt like those 2 months were nothing. Now, I'll never say they were a waste of time because they were. I could say it's a learning curve and all that, and it was nice. But he promised me that he would never leave, and I have issues, sure, but he knew that. I told him I'm honest with everyone when I first meet him. He had a choice. He stuck by me, and a lot of times we did have a good moments, but I've just been in my own head because I've been worried about a lot of things. Like literally on the first of like or like Canada Day on the first, like a few years ago, my grandma passed away on that day, and then when it was the first, my grandfather, not the same like grandma and grandpa, but like my grandfather on my father's side, passed away too. And I remember when my dad told me that he got bladder cancer, which is hereditary in our family. So I got all these things that I am just upset about. And it's just, at the end of the day, I had no one to talk to when I came home, and he had all his friends. And then it's weird that that girl on that side that I did the role plays with, she actually asked if it was okay. And you know what? Oddly enough, even though everyone else hates me, I am so grateful she did because I wasn't. It's nice to see that someone even checked, whether I talked to them or not. After that, someone checked, and I'm glad because like I said, I known them for 2 months, and I tried my best to be positive and everything like that. Like, I'm human, right? I may get my own head, but I'm human. I've gone through more trauma than most people have, and it's not like I chose to, and I'm doing my best. I've tried the medications, I've tried everything, and being happy and around positive people who can be there for me when times are tough fixes it. I get better. Sometimes I just need a bit of space and I get my own head, right? Sometimes it's just, I gotta snap out of it. Might be a couple days, but that's where a partner that actually cares about you comes in. Where he just said, "Oh, you hurt me," and it's like, I hurt you. I'm in my own head battling it because you didn't like. I had to literally beg and almost snap at him just to text his friend and say, "Hey, my boyfriend is depressed because he doesn't understand why suddenly he can't be friends with everyone because you decided to just make that decision." Like, like I had to just that simple, just that. I had to beg him and fight with him for just because it's like most people will just do that without even being asked. Like, hey, why'd you make this decision? Like boundaries can be set, time, like space can be set, but you know, sorry, got a text message from my nan and just answering it. Just he will never care, and that's what kind of makes me be able to survive. But that sucked. Like I felt like my world got ripped away, but I hope he has a good life with his friends. If he could be that type of person where at the end of the day, 2 months is nothing, and it's okay to let your friends keep being a douche to someone that you used to say you cared about, you're not a very good person. Like, I get it, friends are important. Like I said, most of mine are in the grave, and I'm trying to make new friends. But, like, he obviously could tell that it was important to me, and it was bothering me to a point where I would sit in the bed and cry. He'd say he'd care or whatever, but for the fact that he can, like, I get it. I probably hurt him in the end with what I said, but he literally just doesn't even care. I still have dreams of that place, which hurts like hell. I'll wake up in my bed and there'll be nothing near me, right? Because it's weird. I got him the exact same AC I do. Our bed is the same, but the same width. So I'll wake up with the AC blowing, as like most of the time when I woke up, the AC would be on me because I would end up rolling over the bed because he wasn't there because he went to work, and I'd wake up and open my eyes and realize I'm in my house, not his. So it's like a wake up call, and it sucked every time, but that is the full story of it. I have my part to play. I messed up, and I understand that. And I kept telling him, like, I have so many messages saying how much I was sorry, but my last messages I sent to him, I told him he's just an asshole, like, straight up. Even now, like, he'll won't even take the time to talk to me. Like, well, if you can spend 2 months with someone and then just disregard them like they didn't exist, I'm like, you're not a good person. You literally played, like, he played my heart. Like, I don't even know if he did ever care about me. I do, yeah, I know. I don't know if it's because I always wear my hat, but yeah, I do. But yeah, I know, it's just, it sucks. There's nothing I can do. He, he was raped by his brother when he's younger, and he couldn't come out and tell his mom or, some of his friends knew, but only half of them, right? I helped encourage him to break that barrier so that he could tell them, right? Saying when his brother eventually messaged him to, which was oddly that happened after all that, I managed to convince him to respond and, tell him. I helped him come out of that shell so that he could be more comfortable and not hide anything. Because I knew his friends would support him. When I was living here, like when I was here, and he was down because he was at work and it was a bad work day and he was just kind of sad. I told his friend to go get him after work and bring him to, drive around or go back to your guys' house and just, and she said that was really thoughtful and that she did that. And I'm like, well, of course. But I don't have a unibrow. There's no hair right here. It just looks like that because I have no ceiling light. My lights are on the wall because it's a house is old. But yeah, it sucks, but you know, like his friend was always complaining about like trolling me and everything. I was like, you can't. Nothing really phases me because at the end of the day, if someone actually were to fight me, I'd win physically. Mentally, I'm not sane mentally. After falling out of a truck 110 kilometers an hour, there's not much left in here. Like you survive, you try jumping out of a truck and surviving. Doesn't really happen. So I'm lucky I survived that, but actually that concussion caused me. I can't even do VR anymore. I'm upset. I had Skyrim, I had Borderlands 2. I love playing the VR. Now I can't because I had a VR. You look, you could win a fight. I have, but I don't like fighting. Like I might fight like verbally because I get in my head, but physically, I don't want to fight anyone. I rather just hug someone and just I don't know. I hate fighting people. I have won. Like I've had high school fights because people thought they're better than everyone and they just pick fights, but I can win. I can't feel any pain through most of my body. Like physical pain. So that works for me and that's why being a mechanic was working because I could crush my arm and not realize I was. That's a true story. I crushed my arm on a Ford. It was rusted out. It dropped on the lift, and my friend, or he's my partner. Like he's my friend. Like he worked with me. He had to drop down the truck for it to get off my arm. It did kind of hurt because it went in my arm. Yeah, no, it sucked, but my pain tolerance is high. So when something actually does knock me out, which was teeth, because the nerves run everywhere. But emotionally, yeah, It is. Oh yeah, it's super dangerous. Welding everything, like I said, that like I caught my arm in the truck. I only knew because I went to go turn and grab something, and all of a sudden I got yanked, and I looked and realized my arm was caught. I'm like, ooh, like it was bleeding. So like I don't I'm like the pain tolerant, like it's really high and it's numb, but like I can still obviously like lose a limb or break something. Just a lot harder to notice. Even like burns, I got burns and it sometimes hurts, but that's only if it actually like boils. But yeah, no, I do these videos because like I went through so much and I'm trying and you know, but I care about him a lot and he said that same thing a lot. Like when you tell someone you love them, like that's supposed to be for a while. Like I don't want like a half-ass relationship. I want to be in a relationship. I want to survive, have a life. You heard almost every day. What do you do for a job? But yeah, no, I just him and I are definitely over and done with after, especially everything that happened. But I will miss him because it was fun hanging out with him. The 3 hour drive there, 3 hour drive back was not so fun because there's really nothing to see as you do. But I hope one day the memory will hit him like a truck and it will hurt because it's like, yeah, I spent a long time with him and it was great. And if that's something he wanted to give up instead of being like love is never going to be perfect. You'll find people that have a stable relationship, but when you make someone a promise, you keep it. But him and I had a lot of good moments, like I said. And if you make someone that promise that no matter what you're gonna try, you stick with them. You have your ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's only gonna get better as if you try. If you just let it or just abandon it, you're gonna make that worse. And he kind of did. So bullfighters in the bull. Oh, yeah, no, you get probably hurt quite a bit. I might be good at that. I probably wouldn't think fast enough, and I probably get hit by the bull. I have a bull. I'm a farmer. I have a bull outside. I'm not gonna go pet. I pet him quite often. He's not friendly at all. I think I just annoy him to the point he doesn't care anymore. I hope. I don't know. Everyone said don't wear red when you go in there. I've wore red all the time when I went in there. I don't think the bulls see red. I know when it was the wait like the cape waving or whatever. I was told that it's not the color the bulls hate. It's the fact that it's the movement and the guy sitting there taunting. Like yeah, that probably ticked me off too. My thumb's blistering. I burnt it on a battery. Because the battery got hot when I was trying to turn it, and I went to go grab the bolt to tighten it, and I melted my hand or my finger. It hurt. So smooth now. Also, I don't know if I know who you are, Dustin. I probably do, but I can't remember. But anyways, that's long story short. That's the story. And like I said, I'm not really blaming him. I'm taking most of that blame for myself because it's true. I could have handled it better, but I'll give him like 30% because he could have stuck to his promise, stayed by me, and not do this and just talk to me. Because that's what couples are supposed to do. Like, we'll bicker, we'll fight. That happens in relationships. The relationships where you never fight, there's something wrong. Especially where, I actually have issues, so that doesn't help. And he's got issues too. He took depression pills. And he kept offering them to me. Turns out that if I accepted, I would be dead because the painkillers I was taking. Turns out that if I mix that painkiller with even just that little depression pill, it's almost an instant fatality. I didn't know that. I looked it up after because I actually started contemplating wanting to, and then I realized when I googled it, I'm like, well, good thing I didn't. I can't actually take. The only thing I can take with that pain pill is Advil or Tylenol. Can't take any antidepressant, anti-anxiety, nothing. It's super dangerous. I'm like, well, that's just wonderful. So yeah, that sucked. I just noticed I have a giant thing of pills sitting next to my bed. Those aren't the same painkillers, are they? I'm supposed to take painkillers when I was in pain, when I was in my teeth and all that. And I have like a 3 month supply. But like if those are the same pills, because I was taking 300, so I would have to take, what are those, 50s? I have to take six. That'd be a lot. Anyways, I was supposed to eat, but this came longer than normal. I'm gonna eat, which will probably take about, I'd say, 40 minutes because I'd be watching a show. And then I will be streaming, what is it? Pacific Drive, because I wanted to. Which marker? Oh, well, now I don't understand where I left off at all. Yeah, because it crashed yesterday, and I don't know where I settled, so I'll probably start the stream right from where I'm currently sitting, which is in a car somewhere. Because I already did the wall. Oh, I don't know. I don't really know. Anyways, I'm gonna end it there, this here, and in 40 minutes or so, I will be playing my game because it helps. I'm gonna go eat because I need to eat because I haven't, because I'm careless. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching.